Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today with Raufeon Stots. He's fighting in PFL Chicago, June 27th. So let's just get right into it. So I have a background in wrestling
Cool.
with Division Two.
Let's go.
Yep, I went to UW Parkside. I don't know if you ever wrestled anybody from
Yeah, hell
there.
yeah. Russell Parkside, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So you were a two-time Division Two national champ, and you went to Nebraska Kearney, which is also where high-level fighter Kamaru Usman went.
Yep,
So,
yep.
so I'm wondering, what did they do at Kearney to like produce these fighters?
Man, I don't know, man. I have no idea what the secret sauce was. Kamaru is also, I mean, he spent a lot of time in Texas too, which, is where
Right.
African fighters from Texas that go to Kearney, Nebraska just got championship pedigree. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Apparently.
High level wrestlers come out of, Kearney, Nebraska. It was a pretty good, breeding ground for some great athletes, that wrestled in Olympics and wrestled in world team, members. It's just pretty amazing what this, Division two school from Nebraska could do.
100%. And did you start at Nebraska Kearney, or did you go somewhere else first?
I went to a junior college. I went to a junior college in Southeast Kansas, Labette Community College.
Gotcha. Did you place that at JUCO Nationals or?
Yeah, I placed at JUCO Nationals. I got fourth my redshirt freshman year, and then my sophomore year I didn't place. I came one away from placing.
So getting into the fight game now. This is your second fight in the PFL, and obviously it's against your old teammate Sergio.
Yep.
So is there any like animosity going into this fight, or is it all just like kind of
I've
friendly
hated Sergio
competition?
since the day I see. No, no, bro. It's like zero animosity, which is a little, weird. Not, I mean, it's not weird. It's just, it's gonna be pure competition, I guess. I can't really say anything. I can make up some stuff about Sergio.
Yeah, hey, give me some clips here. Give me some clips.
I can talk about his ears, how short he is, you know what I mean? But there's nothing that I have, against Sergio. He's a great athlete. I look up to the guy. He's responsible for a lot of my success, so it's like nothing I can, say bad about him. We just gonna go out there and see who the better fighter is on that night, and then the winner goes on to fight for the belt, the PFL belt. So that's what.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. So I just saw your clip about you were supposed to fight Patchy Mix,
Yeah.
and then it was going to unify with the tournament champ. So is it still whoever wins this next fight will fight the tournament
I mean,
champ?
I'm at this point. I'm lobbying for that. That's what I believe that they should do. I don't know if they have a plan, but I feel like that's a pretty good plan. One, it brings validity to their tournament champion because most of the they're good fighters. A lot of the fighters in the tournament, but none of them have like kind of been proven, on the world stage against elite athletes. So this will be a good way to like validate the champion that they have in the tournament. So that, and then another reason is I feel like me, Sergio, Magomed, we're all, well, me and Sergio, we are seen as champions of division. So yeah, I just think that'll help them. I think it'll help the division overall. Not only gain like eyes, but just some kind of recognition. And yeah, so I'm lobbying. I just think that's their best move. Yeah.
So how close were you and Sergio back when you were still training with him?
I mean,
Like outside of the gym?
was like we weren't like going out, to eat every day or like talking on the phone every day type of thing. But we were each other's main training partners for like 6 years. As you know, I'm sure you've been to Rufus Sport. Rufus Sport is a small gym. We probably had like 12 guys on our team. At a given time. Duke would always say, like, we're not like the Army, we're like the Marines, because everybody in there was really skilled. Everyone in there was taught very well because the coaches had time to give, to everybody just because there wasn't a lot of, training partners. So yeah, so everybody that I trained with at Rufus Sport, I consider a close friend. You know what I mean? So yeah, so we were pretty close.
Yeah, nice. So this is like the second time you guys have been scheduled to fight each other. Because you were supposed to fight back in 2022, and he got
Yep,
injured.
yep. Was that 2022 or 2021?
Was it 2021? I saw like the Tapology said
Yeah,
2022.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I think well it could have been, but I know I moved to it might have been 2022 actually. I moved to Texas before we were scheduled to fight. Um,
Okay.
but I was just moving just because I was having another kid and Texas is where I'm from, so I was moving kind of to be closer to home. And so then from Texas, I did my camp at Rufus Sport against Magomedov, and then after that, yeah, they had asked us, or they said that we were going to fight during the tournament, and then just like this fight, before that fight, I called Sergio, we talked about it, and was like, hey, how do you feel? At that time, he didn't feel comfortable training in the same place and then fighting, and I had already moved, so at that point, I decided to do, a camp at Extreme Couture. And yeah, we were slated to fight. Of course, he unfortunately got injured, and then we couldn't do that. And then kind of the same thing happened here. We were, because I thought I was going to fight Patchy.
Yeah.
That whole thing happened. I was waiting for that, waiting for that. I was actually in the hospital because my baby girl just was born like a month ago, and
Congrats.
they appreciate it. They told me they was like they were like, hey, the Patchy fight's off, and now you're gonna fight Sergio. So I was like, what the fuck? What?
They just threw that at you.
And so then I called Sergio, chopped it up with him, and yeah, we pretty much was like, okay, yeah, we both in a situation where we got to take this fight. May the best man win, man.
So how do you think, like, competitively, this fight differs from if you would have fought back in 2022?
So we've had more time to grow, apart. So and then the other thing is, so I know what the system was at Rufus Sport at that time. So both of us, we had kind of the same system of fighting,
Right.
you know. As of now, I'm sure they've changed some things at Rufus Sport, and I've went elsewhere. So it's more like a regular fight, like two kind of different systems of fighting. But we both have our, like, I have my things that I'm always gonna do that I learned from the coaches at Rufus Sport is always gonna work for me. And he has the same. So I think now you'll see more of I feel like it would have before it would have been like kind of like what we do in the training room where it's like really competitive, but we're kind of like working on the same stuff.
Right.
Now you're gonna see like two different systems, and then me not as aware of the things he does well on a daily basis, and the same thing, for him. So I think it's gonna be anything can happen, and it's gonna be an exciting fight, no matter how you look at it for the fans. I know, in training room, we were always training. We were always training as somebody else, like to give each other looks because our team
Right.
was so small. We couldn't really like we had to pretend we had to fight like somebody else so they could get that look. It
Right.
wasn't like
Yeah. Yeah.
people, and then you just pick a couple people to emulate your game plan or their fight style. So I don't want to say we were ever like competing. We was like trying to make each other better.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna be actually like using our skills to compete, and yeah, we're just gonna let it fly and see what happens.
So paint me the picture here.
Okay,
Perfect night. You're feeling great. How do you get the job done?
man, perfect picture,
Best
perfect
weight
picture.
cut of
And
your life.
I go in there, take Sergio down, submit him in a minute. no harm comes to him, no harm comes to me, and I walk off into the sunset. That's picture perfect. But this is a fight. I understand he's competing. He's got things he needs to win for. I got things I need to win for. So things probably gonna get a little ugly in there. But it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. So your career record, 21-2, right?
Yeah.
So there's Patchy Mix and
Yep.
Marab.
Yep.
So both of them are in the UFC now, obviously.
Yeah.
Is there any interest in chasing those two losses back down in the UFC?
Man, I was wanting to chase Patchy, but Patchy looked like shit this last fight. I wish I would have got that fight with him when I did. But no, I mean, yeah, there's interest in, like, if I could ever fight those guys again, I'm all for it, especially because I feel like both of those losses were flukes. I don't think any one of those guys beat me that way again. I just think it was an off night and a great night for them, and the things happen. If they had beat me how they normally win, then I would have. I feel like I could take more. I could rest on that L a little more.
Like accept it more.
Yeah, I could accept it more.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it was like something that you can never recreate.
Yeah.
And it's not in your wheelhouse. It was just something that happened that I'm like, bro, that was a fluke.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I can, I mean, I'm petty. I'm petty. At the end of the day, if I can get my life losses back, I'm gonna take that opportunity 100% of the time.
Sometimes you gotta be petty. Sometimes you gotta be.
I've done pretty great things in the sport, and hopefully they continue to do great things in the sport. At some point I gotta let bygones be bygones. But I am petty. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I got that opportunity, I'd take it.
What did you think about like before Patchy's performance? How did you think he was gonna like line up in the UFC?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna. Which I know his strengths and weaknesses just because I've gained playing for him. But I thought he was gonna do pretty good. I thought he would. I thought he had some great matchups that he could really excel in. But again, like I've game plan to see where he has holes. So I look at it a little different. But I didn't think he was just gonna like walk through the division. But I thought if he got matched up right, he could do great things.
This is kind of non-fight related, but are you ever gonna grow the hair back out?
Bro, I'm done with the hair. I'm done. You know why? Because it's been easy breezy without that. I gotta freaking tie it up every time I train. It's in my face. It's freaking hitting me in the eye. When I gotta take a shower, it take me 20 extra minutes to wash all these goddamn dreads.
Hey, it looks cool though.
It looked cool, but the upkeep of it. And the crazy thing is, I don't know if many people know this. I didn't start dreads. I just stopped combing my hair. I stopped combing my hair I stopped combing my hair out of just laziness. I didn't want to do anything with my hair no more. So then it started like napping up or whatever, because I roll around all day and I wash it all day. I don't, condition it necessarily like I should.
Yeah.
And so it started knotting up. And so then my wife just cut the knots and they ended up turning into dreads. And then I just, I rocked it as a freeform dreads. And it was cool for a while because I was thinking like, oh, I don't never got to cut my hair, So as less upkeep. But then the longer I had them, I got to start twisting them. I got to start freaking. I'm still getting haircuts, but I'm just lining up my hair or whatever. I was like, bro, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
Hey, for what it means, it'd be cool to see him come back.
I'm gonna have to get a wig. I get a weave. I put
Yeah,
a weave in there.
it might take a while otherwise.
Yeah, but other than that, I ain't growing them back out.
So right now your full camp is in Houston, right?
Yep, I do all my camp in Houston. Yeah.
This will be your third then?
So I did my last camp in Houston. I did the one before that was was Sabatello. The second Sabatello I did here. I did Patchy here, and then Sabatello was before that. So that's 4 camps. Who was before that? Yeah, that was 4. Because then the time
4,
before
okay.
that, I did at Extreme Couture, I believe.
Right. And how have you been liking it closer to home down there compared to
It's
Extreme
getting
Couture or
so
Rufus?
it was rough in the beginning just because I didn't know all the resources. You still hear me?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know all the resources that I had and who was like around Houston. But the longer I'm here, the more the better I'm kind of feeling about my camp and the you know, you try a gym out, you know, it don't work, you know, you go to this other gym. So now I feel like I found like a good mix of the right competition for me. So it's good.
So this is last question here. What can the fans expect from you? June 27th, PFL Chicago. Final message to fans or to
Hey,
Sergio.
hey, as y'all know, me and Sergio come to put on. No, what the fans can expect is a hell of a fight, man. I'm expecting a hell of a fight. You know, just because we known each other so well, I know what he brings. I'm sure he knows what I bring, so he's gonna be training his ass off. I've been training my ass off. Sergio is an amazing competitor, so you can expect a hell of a fight, man. We gonna go out there. We gonna try to put it all online. So who gonna really win is the fans. You know. I'm assuming I'm not gonna lose a friend, but shit might happen. You know. No, I think we gonna go out there and put on a hell of a show.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time today, and good luck in Chicago.
Appreciate.
Hopefully I can come and watch.
Come through, man. Come through
Dude,
to
I
the
want
contest.
to. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna end this.